Bellator 246 as well. Arguably, I guess, the highlight of the weekend. Juan Archuleta against Patchy Mix, vacant bantamweight title. How excited are you about this one?
Yeah, well, that's the right match to make, by the way. The Mix for the hardcores is very well known. That betting line is very close, by the way, so apparently more than just the hardcore knows. But I will share this with you. If you're talking to the boys in the locker room and you're asking them who's going to win that's a very split fight. A lot of people are even picking Mix, and I'm very light on this one. They think that Mix is going to win by submission. I just particularly find Juan Archuleta very difficult to submit, and they go a little bit further that Mix is going to take his back and use a rear naked choke. Look, he's shown that tool in the past. I just think Archuleta is a whole different animal there. I also know Archuleta personally from wrestling. I've been in workout rooms with him. I don't think he's getting submitted. Now, who's going to win that fight is between those boys, but I think it's going to be a long, drawn-out contest. I don't see anybody getting a submission. I think going to finish this possible late in the fight. I mean, these guys are built to go all night. It's the right two guys. Different body styles. Mix is much longer. Archuleta's a lot tighter. But as far as pace goes, I tend to lean towards Archuleta. And as far as, I'll catch you and end your night, I think there's something to be said for Mix's past.
Yeah, give us an insight as a technical expert in that in terms of avoiding submissions. What will Archuleta know that the previous opponents for Patchy Mix didn't know or perhaps couldn't execute?
Yeah, so many, and you always use history as your trajectory for the future. In conversations like this, right? Anything I tell you, that I need to then support it with a previous fight. And yes, I can see that Mix has taken a lot of guys' backs and Mix is choking people out. I understand that. I would just ask you to tell me a time that anybody's ever taken Archuleta's back. And they didn't even have to finish him. Did anyone ever get him down and get behind him and take his back and put the legs in? And no, the answer is no. He's been in there 24 times. It's just a position that he's avoided. He's been caught in some guillotines and worked his way through. He's had some triangle attempt and worked his way through. Taking a guy's back is a whole nother deal. First off, you either have to take him down or you have to reverse him once he takes you down. For me, I will be super impressed if I see that. There's just nothing in Archuleta's past where I can close my eyes and predict that that's reasonable. I don't think it's reasonable.
And it's interesting, Patchy Mix is full of confidence because he's on this winning run stretching back to his amateur days as well as his recent record in professional MMA. But is that a problem potentially for him, especially with all the fast finishes he's had, that if Archuleta can take him into uncharted waters, psychologically, does that become a problem for a fighter who's not used to that?
Okay, I will tell you, your first time doing it is actually your best experience. It's a naiveness of not knowing how exhausting those waters are. Look, the first time you do it, there will be a part of your body that does not want to go back to that place. It's just a real reality. It's just some really hard workouts. It's human nature. So I will tell you, look, do we have, you and I as viewers have questions? Are we right to ask, how's he going to do in championship rounds? Yes, of course we are. But as far as his first time, no, that'll actually be one of his best times in terms of pushing the pace and staying out there.
Yeah, he's very confident. He said he's better than Archuleta in every department. He says he's also better than Sergio Pettis, who potentially meets the winner. How do you see either of these guys matched against Sergio Pettis?
Well, I think Sergio's the right guy. You know, Sergio's younger, but he's a winner his whole life. And not to mention, when you grow up in a household, no matter how rough of a guy you are, and the guy right across the hall can put you in check. I mean, his brother's the champion of the world. His brother's the only guy to ever be on the Wheaties box. So I think that the Sergio story is very good. I think that he's debuted a little above expectation over here at Bellator. I think his first fight and even his second fight and the way that he's getting stoppages, I think that he's overperformed by some expectations. But sometimes you just got to find the right home. And whatever that is, and for whatever reason, whether it's something in the back or it's just the feel of the cage and the audience, whatever it is that makes you tick as an athlete, I really feel as though Sergio's coming into his own. Those guys are a little bit too much man for him. He's a young guy. Those guys are going to be a little bit too strong. But Sergio is lightning fast. There's definitely ways that Sergio beats both of those guys and anybody else. I do think that Sergio's the top contender, if that is the point we're trying to prove.
Yep, yeah, definitely some great matches to come. What about this one though, Archuleta against the Patchy Mix? How do you see it?
Yeah, that's an interesting fight. Look, I always have to come down to a worst-case scenario. It's just the way that my own mind works. A worst-case scenario for athletes is they're out there all night and it goes to the judges. They got to go 25 minutes and they're trading positions and rounds and they're exhausted and they're hurt and they're sore and they're tired, but they got to go all 25. I have been nothing but impressed by Juan Archuleta's pace. I do think in those long contests, you got to throw skills out. Skills work in the first round. Maybe even work for the first 7 minutes. Then it comes down to heart and grit and toughness. It's who is the better competitor. When I look at that, I am seeing Archuleta. I just don't see anybody in the sport that can keep his pace, anybody within the division. And I understand that Mix can shut his lights off. I understand that Mix can choke you out, that Mix is longer. I get these things. I'm not dismissing Mix. I'm telling you in a worst-case scenario, and that's what I'm banking this off of. If they go 25 minutes, I would predict Archuleta.